Hello students of class 8th. Today's presentation is a revision of maths for rational numbers part 1. Let's start. Let us describe different types of numbers. Like if you order a pizza and the pizza is divided in 6 equal parts and you just want to have one part of it, so you will say that I will have only 1/6 of the pizza. Now, for a very low temperature, you need a number like -4, -5, and so on. So, there exist different types of numbers. For example, natural numbers, that is, numbers starting from 1 and ending at infinity, or the numbers existing between 1 and infinity. We also have whole numbers, that is, the numbers between 0 and infinity. Then we have integers, that is negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. So all natural numbers are whole numbers and all whole numbers and natural numbers are integers. So why do we need different types of numbers? Let us take an example. You can see on the screen there is ice. So this ice is very cold. So when you look at the ice, its temperature will be negative. To define its temperature, we need a negative number. Now, if we start heating this to convert it into water, it will reach a temperature of 0 degree and then it will start melting. So for this, we needed a whole number. And if we heat it further to form water vapor, it reaches a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and the water vapor starts evaporating, which is a natural number. So we need different types of numbers in our day-to-day life to describe different quantities, different temperatures, different percentages, etc. Okay. Now, apart from these three numbers, we have certain other types of numbers also. For example, we have decimals. What is a decimal? A number that separates the integer part from the fractional part is called decimal number. Now let's take it as when you go to school in the morning and you come back home, you say that my school is 1.5 kilometer away from home. So this tells that you covered 1 kilometer plus 0.5 kilometer while you were going to school. So in these numbers, you can say there is a point, which is nothing but a decimal separator. That point is a decimal separator. It separates the integer part like 1 and the fractional part like 0.5 from each other. Now similarly, you have fractions. Now when you think of eating a pizza, and you say that I just want to have 1/6 of the pizza. So what is this 1/6? It is a fraction. That means you want to have just one part of it out of 6 equal parts. So this is what we call fraction. Now let's see what if we want to have numbers like -1/2 or -2/5. Does such numbers exist? Yes, of course, such numbers exist. When -1 can exist, when 2 can exist, so why can't -1/2? Or when -2 can exist, 5 can exist, then why can't -2/5 exist? Such numbers do exist, and here we introduce our rational numbers. The rational number is the word rational is derived from the word ratio, as a rational number is always a ratio of two numbers. That is, we have a numerator and a denominator in a rational number, or we can say something is upon something. That is, numerator and denominator are there in rational numbers, which may be positive or which may be negative. Next, we have explained rational numbers. Okay. Now, what rational numbers are? These are the numbers in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equals to 0. That is, P and Q can be positive or negative and P can be 0, but Q should not be equal to 0. Some examples I've mentioned on the screen. Now, what is the difference between rational numbers and fractional numbers? You might be wondering, rational numbers and fractional numbers are quite similar. So what is the difference? So let's see what is the difference between the two. In fractional numbers, P and Q are natural numbers, while in rational numbers, P and Q are integers. That is, P and Q can be positive or negative. Now, in fractional numbers, all fractions are rational numbers, but in rational numbers, only those rational numbers where both P and Q have positive integers are fractions. So, only those rational numbers where both P and Q have positive integers are fractions, or we can say that all fractions are rational numbers, but all rational numbers are not fractions. Examples of fractional numbers are 9 by 7, 25 by 5, 1 by 2. And examples of rational numbers can be minus 23 by 27, 100 by minus 23, 8 by 1, or we can say 2. Why? Because 2 can be written as 2 by 1. Now, there are certain criteria to be fulfilled by a number to be a rational number. So, what are those criteria? First, it should be represented as P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q should not be equals to 0. Second is, if you talk about any integer like minus 33, 0, 8, etc., all these are rational numbers. Next is, all fractions are rational numbers, like we have 1 by 5, 54 by 60, etc. All these fractions are rational numbers. Next is repeated decimals. So whenever you have something like 0.33333, that is 3 is repeating itself, so these are rational numbers. Or we can have 0.66666 where 6 is repeating itself, so such kind of numbers are also rational numbers. Next is terminated decimals. So whenever you have decimals with fixed number of digits after the decimal, like 0.5, 0.27, etc., all these are rational numbers. Thank you, students. Hope you have understood the concept of rational numbers. I'll be providing you certain questions based on these. Please do them as your homework. Thank you.